If you listened to the news yesterday, you must have seen a very devastating video of a young man, a level 300 mathematics student of the Kinting Apia Minka Skills Training University, who tragically lost his life. He died because during one of the university hall rituals, he jumped over live fire while wearing his high priest outfit. The outfit caught fire, he caught fire, he burned, and later died from the injuries after that burn. It's very sad, it's very unfortunate, but following this incident, a lot of young people, in fact, Ghanaians are talking about the relevance of these tertiary hall traditions. We know about the vandals, we know about Okponglo, we know about all of these halls and the interesting traditions that they perform. While some have said that these traditions have their positive sides. For example, it builds, team building, team bonding, healthy rivalry. It's good entertainment on campus. We cannot close our eyes to some of the negatives, such as the vandalizing of university property, unhealthy rivalry, and now death following a ritual. Today, we're going to have this conversation on whether or not these traditions are necessary at all, whether we need to maybe consider cancelling them or modifying them, and the impact it has on students. I'm joined on Zoom now by two gentlemen, Frank Owusu, KNUST SRC President, and Supreme Petras Anab, former Chief Justice of the Republic of Okponglo, Mensa Saba Hall. They've joined us now on Zoom. Gentlemen, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Na.
How are you?
We are fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm very well, too. Thank you so much. Did you see the video of the young man who lost his life tragically yesterday?
Even before I zoom into the conversation, I say good morning to all your viewers. Honestly, I did see it, and it was quite a sad spectacle to behold. I saw the video, and it wasn't pleasant at all.
Okay. Did you understand what led to this fire? He was apparently performing some rites in front of the Pokuware Hall, and as the former chief priest. Or Chief Justice?
I am the SRC President of KNUST.
No, you're the SRC President of KNUST. Okay, let me ask the former Chief Justice of the Okponglo Hall, Republic of Okponglo, Mensa Saba Hall. Mr. Anab.
Yes.
Yes, how are you?
By God's grace, I'm fine. I hope you are also doing well.
I'm very well, thank you. You saw the video yesterday.
So I saw the video last week when the guy got bent, and yesterday my team told me the guy has lost his life.
Unfortunately,
so I've seen the video. Yes.
Now, you were the Chief Justice of the Okponglo Republic, you call it.
Yes.
Did you understand the reasons for these rights and the fire, and just what does it mean for you as someone who was previously the Chief Justice of a hall like this?
So I don't think there is anything serious here for us. These are one of two things we will mostly encounter in our life, and this is called an accident. If I didn't understand the principles in which this tradition were, then I wouldn't have even given myself out to be put as the Chief Justice for the Republic of Okponglo. I do understand the positives and the negatives that comes with these traditions, but the positives outweigh the negatives. You see, this is an accident, and there has been a lot of times where even modern technology is trying to help humanity survive in these hard times. But at the end of the day, we lose our lives from it. If you are going to Kumasi, you pick a VIP bus or even a sprinter, people get accident and they die. There has never been any issue with regards to people not taking buses or cars to Kumasi.
Anab.
So this is one of the things.
Anab.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Yes.
you. First of all, what does it mean when they say that you are the Chief Justice of a hall.
So,
What does it mean?
The Chief Justice means you are the legal brain for the hall. So if there is an issue, you are the person who is going to defend the people in the fraternity. So that is my work, and that was my work, and I've been doing it even as I left campus.
I see. As a Chief Justice, do you undertake some of these traditions and rituals?
Definitely, because you are the second in command.
Okay.
And especially at Mensa Sabah Hall, we have the landlord, we have the deputy landlord, and the Chief Justice. And the Chief Justice is the legal brain. So definitely, when these rituals are being performed, you need to be there. So
what are some of the rituals that you perform at Mensa Sabah Hall?
So we do coronation when we are choosing new chiefs. We also have our hall weeks where we have to pray for the divine protection from Father Apollo. We also,
from who?
When we are writing exams.
Who is Father Apollo?
So Father Apollo is, let me say, the god of Mensa Sabah Hall. And if you've studied history and Greek mythology, he was the great son of Zeus and the god of intelligence. So anytime we are getting into the academic calendar, we pray to Father Apollo to help us, get us that kind of brains and knowledge to become successful in the academic calendar. So Father Apollo is the god for Mensa Sabah Hall, and he is the great god of intelligence.
Okay. And in your prayers, can you describe what your prayers look like? Is it like the prayers we know where you close your eyes and pray, or do you do any rites?
Yes, we perform rites, and even at churches, how they close their eyes and pray is their right. We also have our right, and one of them is the pouring of libation, and the divine seer, that is the chief priest, will speak to Father Apollo, and everything that he tells him, he directs us to do, and we make sure we do it perfectly so that no consequences comes back.
Is chief priest also a student?
Yes, everybody is a student.
Where do you derive your powers from? Prior to coming to Mensa Sabah Hall, were you in touch with Father Apollo? Or after you come to the hall and you get, I don't know.
So the situation is,
yeah,
when we were not born, we never knew of religion, okay? So if you are not in Mensa Sabah Hall, you wouldn't know anything called Apollo.
So you are introduced when you come to the hall?
When you come in, the rituals are being done, okay? Then when you think it is necessary and something that is going to help you, you also join. It is a religion. It is a religion. When people have Christianity, Islam, we also have ours, which is the Republic of Okonglo, and our God is Father Apollo.
Okay, interesting. Let me talk to the SRC president of KNUST. Hi.
Hello, now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All
I'm
right.
listening.
Are you aware of some of these traditions on your campus, KNUST?
Yes, I'm very much aware now. Unfortunately for me, I am a former hall secretary of Kislehe Fort Hall UCC.
Okay.
And then I'm here in KNUST. I'm a University Hall affiliate, Katanga to be exact.
Katanga.
So I'm very much aware, yes. I'm very much aware of all these activities and practices.
What are some of the traditions that you do at your hall?
Yes, you see, even before I zoom into the traditions and practices, one thing I want to state is that I agree in part with the submissions of my colleague. And one thing I want to say is that if anyone pretty want to understand all these activities and traditions, I would like the person to read an article that was written by Ajana Britu of the NDC, who was a former president of Vanda, Commonwealth Hall. He wrote it on the 3rd of, I think, the 13th of December 2017. And the topic of the article is occultism and Commonwealth Hall. Occultism and Commonwealth Hall. He traces beautifully the history of these traditions in the male halls. And you perfectly understand how all these things began. You see, one fact you have to establish is that there is fundamentally nothing wrong with we exhibiting our tradition. You see, if we come to the university, we have the Christian Council, we have the Muslim Council.
Yes.
And according to the article by Ajana Britu, he stated that there is this man who is now a chief in the Ashanti region. Actually, it's an Omanhene.
Okay.
And I wouldn't want to mention his name. He came to the university so many years ago in the University of Ghana, And then he realized that he's from a royal family. And in the royal family, they have their own culture, they have their own practices and traditions. So he's seeing the fact that we have the Christian religion, we have the Muslim religion. He established the traditional religion in the Commonwealth Hall. And by so doing, it metamorphosized into this TC we have all across the new halls in Ghana. So if you go to Vanda, they have their TC. You go to Ponglo, they have their TC. You come to Casper,
they have their what?
Our own TC. Traditional council, we call it TC, traditional council.
Okay.
Yeah, TC, yes.
TC. I see.
Yeah, so it has been there from that time till now. But then this is the reality as we speak. You see, culture is dynamic. And culture evolves every now and then. Anything that doesn't evolve, it gets to a point in time, becomes irrelevant. Christianity years back used to sacrifice animals. Christianity years back used to have some practices that are not being practiced today. In the same vein, the Islam religion, in times past, they used to have this holy war, jihad, to get people to believe in their faith. As we speak today, they don't practice it anymore. So I remember around 2018, when we had that infamous clash or demonstration in Kenya University that resulted in a lot of vandalism in the university.
Yeah.
During the graduation ceremony, Otunfo said something. Otunfo is our chancellor. And he mentioned that any culture that isn't dynamic, any culture that does not embrace change is bound to die. I am a former Casford Hawk secretary. I love morale. And morale, I mean, the songs that we sing, we call it Jama, we call it, I love it. Every Sunday when I'm washing, I use morale to wash.
Okay.
Whenever I'm free on Fridays, I join my friends in Katanga or continue to do morale. Okay. I remember during my days in Casford, you ask my friends in Casford and they will tell you that every Friday you see me at the Luther Square doing morale. But the problem has to do with the excesses attached to these traditions. If you sing on Friday without vandalizing any property, nobody has a problem with you. But we have a new generation coming in. We are practicing something. We have taken some extraneous activities, added it to it, without we necessarily understanding the foundation of the tradition that we are following.
Okay, but who's to blame for this? Because the new generation, like you said, they're new. They don't understand the traditions perhaps like you do. And they undertake some vandalism, violence sometimes. And now acts that apparently include jumping over open fire and getting burnt in the process. What's the impact of these traditions on our new or young students these days? And have you considered, as the SRC president and former Katangese, you said, have you considered probably revising some of these traditions so that they don't involve things that could possibly injure students, result in vandalizing school property and so on?
Fortunately for me, I think for Kenya University, we are undergoing a reformation because last year, an activity occurred in the university that resulted in the university placing ban on social activities in the university, which included mass up of students. Okay. And as a result, students even aren't allowed to do morale. As we speak, we have had conversations with management, we have had conversations with council, and I'm very confident that next semester, God willing, they are going to allow us to have our morals we used to have in previous years. But then it is going to be based on a condition. You see, I think at a point in time, there should be a reawakening. And every reawakening or revolution is caused by something. So I believe that all these activities, all these happenings will cause a reawakening eventually in the minds of students. Okay. I will have been privileged to have meetings with both sides. I mean, as SRC president, if you ask the members of University Hall, the leaders of the TC, they will tell you I've had meetings with them. I've had meetings with leaders in Unity Hall. And we are now coming to a compromise to see how best, if we are to bring back morale in full force, it will be a bit more regulated in our activities. For me,
when regulated, when you say regulated, what do you mean? What exactly are you going to do differently?
Of course, it has to do with the excesses. And generally, I believe majority of the student populace believe that the excesses we don't condone.
What are the excesses?
Encourage it. The excesses involved maybe fighting in the course of the morale. So we are having morale, and then there is the need that we go around to exhibit our tradition, and then by so doing, we end up throwing and pelting stones at each other. It's something we don't condone. It's something that all of us have come to the realization that it is not helping us.
All
So
right.
definitely, if we are bringing morale back again, I am very confident that all these excesses won't be encouraged.
All right.
And students in Kenya University have all agreed that is something that hasn't been helping us. Because see, now one thing you have to understand is that the existence of these groups are extremely important. They play very important roles in the university.
Like what?
They are precious. I mean, one, on Fridays, those of us who can't afford to go to clubs and bars to enjoy ourselves, we sing from 7 to 10, and we release stress, release tension. And if you are there and you see people chanting, even if you don't join, there is a way of you releasing some stress and tension. We even have females in the hall who sometimes they don't join, but they will stand at their back.
So it's entertainment for you?
Yeah, entertainment.
All right. Thank you so much, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Frank. Let me talk to Anab. Anab, you have said that you saw the video and you believe it was an accident because accidents do happen. But is there any key learning for you as a former Chief Justice of the Republic of Okponglo after you saw the video? What have you learned from it?
So now this is the situation. We learn from accident. Without accident, we wouldn't have learned. Okay, so even when it happened at is it Apia Minka or so, a friend of mine, my former boss, he was also the Chief Justice for the Republic of Okponglo, called and said this thing is going to trouble all of us because once it has happened in a school, definitely the laws will be also enlarging so that students in Mensa Sabah Hall and even in University of Ghana as a whole, they are also going to feel the pain. So definitely we have to learn from it. This is an exercise, as we said. Fighting, everything.
What I want to know from you is exactly the message or the learning from this situation is for you. You said it's an accident, things happen like that and so on. But these accidents happen because of certain things that preceded them, all right? He was jumping over live fire. Would this incident, jumping over live fire, be one of the things you describe as an excess?
Yes, sir.
So it is a tradition.
It's not one of the excesses.
In my hall,
it's the tradition.
Common sense must rule. Okay, when you are doing something which involves fire, there should be fire extinguishers. There should be a remedy to everything that happens. So you know you are going to light fire. There was a time we were having national fire service people to be around so that in case of emergencies, they can also help us quench the fire. So I think we are learning from it because anytime you have a ritual, there should be things that can remedy the situation.
But
so that
can you have your rituals without doing dangerous things like jumping over fire, for example? I mean, surely, I don't understand the ritual, but
is not dangerous.
Jumping over fire is not dangerous?
Is not dangerous.
Is that
yes,
so?
It's not dangerous. It's not,
I think it's dangerous.
Has been there for over 30 years. And this is the first time it's happening. It's not dangerous. Something which is dangerous means it occurs every day, every time. Okay? So this is the first time
that's not what dangerous means. Dangerous doesn't mean it occurs every day, every time. It means by doing it, you're putting yourself and your life at risk.
If it had not happened, okay? If it had not happened, we wouldn't have been discussing this. What I'm trying to say is, this is an accident. So they have to learn from it. Bring a fire extinguisher or even invite, the national service people. I said the national service, fire service people to be there so that in case there is this type of accident, they can quench the fire for you. It's a tradition. You cannot forgo your tradition. In as much as I believe tradition can be modified, I'm saying that this is a tradition they cannot forgo. So they have to put in measures to curb this and also not for these things to happen again. So I don't see anything big about it. It's an accident and they have to just cry over it and make sure there are remedies to such things in the future.
I see. I'm surprised at your posture, really, because I think it is a big deal. You know, someone has died, and I think jumping over live fire is a dangerous thing to do. Don't you think that perhaps it's time that you consider modifying some of your traditions? Because surely having a fire extinguisher on standby or the fire service on standby does not prevent a person from catching fire. If the fire service is needed, it means you know that what you're doing is dangerous, that an accident can occur.
Now, you see, I've given you an example that how many times haven't people had accidents in a car and they've died? Okay, so are we going to say that we are not taking cars again? No. What I'm trying to say is, now we've seen that this thing can.
But here's the thing: your primary objective for going to school is to get an education. That is why your parents take you there.
A good person in future.
Yes, all of it,
Okay,
all of those things are important. But shouldn't you prioritize that so that if you're putting your life at risk, it is because you're getting an education, but not because you're participating.
You know, somebody ate and the food choked the person and the person died. Was the person's life at risk when he was eating?
I see.
No, what I'm saying is,
But you see, when you cite an example like this, you're trivializing the situation a little bit. There are things that you need to survive. For example, eating. But would you say jumping over live fire is one of the things that are needed for your education in school? Your primary objective for being there is to get an education and go back into the society. Eating is one of the things you need to survive as a human being. Let's not trivialize this, okay? But that's all the time that we have left.
You are not understanding my point.
I think so. I think I don't understand. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have left. Perhaps we can have an extended version of this conversation in studio with you. That would be great. But that's all the time that we have now. Thank you so much for joining me. We have been talking about university traditions, university hall traditions, and the impact it has on students. We recently saw a video of a young man burn. He died soon after because he was jumping over live fire during a ritual as the chief priest in front of the Pokuwari Hall at the Akintin Apiaminka School, University in Kumasi. We send our hearts go out to his family and his friends and all who unfortunately witnessed this act and are saddened by it. You're watching TV3 New Day. When we come back, we'll have a great, exciting, entertaining conversation with Mr. Drew, who's in the studios now.